Welcome back to the Talking with Taylor podcast. I'm your host, Taylor, where we talk with anyone about anything, and hopefully everyone around the table will listen. And I am super excited about our podcast interview today. We've been trying to get together for a while now, and lives have been crazy on both sides. But we have today a financial advisor from Baltimore, Maryland. His name is Kent Groff, and we were introduced through a mutual friend, Marcus Ogden. And I can't wait to have him on, and we're going to get some financial advice from him going into 2021. But Kent, how are you doing, man?
I am doing very well. Thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely, Kent. Now, how are things up in Maryland? Everything's been, we just had an election, and, we're in the middle of COVID. How are people doing there?
So we're doing all right. The election was definitely a very tumultuous experience for really everyone, no matter which side of the aisle you kind of land on. But I know that after Biden got elected, I believe it was Friday, we had a new, executive order come into play that said you have to wear a mask now at all times if you're in any public space. So, if my wife and I live near a middle school, if we're there and no one's around, I'm like, so do we still wear a mask? Do we not wear a mask?
Right.
It's getting a little confusing.
I think clarity from our elected officials would be much needed in this crazy time for sure. So, man, that's interesting for sure. And you talk about, obviously, during a pandemic, during an election, like you said, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, there are these moments where, especially in your field, what you do, people want to know, how do I handle my finances? And I know we're going to talk about, what can we do to prepare for 2021, but what are some tips that we can take away to prepare for a moment like COVID, to prepare for an election? What are some things we can do when turmoil comes our way in our country dealing with our finances?
So the best advice I can give, and I give this to all my clients, I look at myself as a investment behavioral counselor. So really what I can say is just do not panic. No matter what the outcome is, no matter who is the president, the government does want the country to succeed. And a lot of what we do is stop people from making behavioral based decisions, emotional based decisions. If someone sees their portfolio going down, the first instinct a person has, an investor has, is, oh my gosh, I need to sell everything. I need to get out. This is scary. The way that people have become successful in the stock market and through investing is by being patient, by staying invested during those times. That is how Warren Buffett has become so successful, because he doesn't panic out of his stocks and his investments when they come crashing down. He stays in. He knows he has a long time till he needs that money, so he just doesn't panic.
Well, and we're talking financially here, but I think from a leadership perspective, one thing, we tend to, I'll lose you there. Oh, there we are. I lost you there for a second. But not just from a financial perspective, but from a leadership perspective, I think panicking is one of the worst things that we can do. And so obviously in our finances, don't panic. But also from a leadership standpoint, hey, stand firm, hold firm, and we will get through the day, and keeping the future in mind. And so, like I said, Warren Buffett has done that obviously with his portfolio and has done really well. And so tell us a little bit about your firm, about obviously what you do, and kind of the vision and the mindset of what all goes into your day-to-day work.
So I worked for 10 years for a large public finance company. I got my certified financial planner license under them. And then I actually had made the jump at the beginning of this past year to what is called a registered investment advisory firm. So I was beginning to not like, so when you work for a big firm, they have an agenda. They
Yeah.
push that agenda on their advisors. They want you to do what they want you to do. A lot of times I wasn't feeling like I was doing the best thing for my client. So, being a registered investment advisory firm, we actually do not sell any products. We don't sell any annuities. We don't sell any life insurance. So, we're able to be completely unbiased and have absolutely no conflicts of interest
Hmm.
because if at for example, at the last company, they'd say, if you sell this, you'll make this much. But if you sell this product, you'll make 6% commission on this. And it just created this culture that was not conducive to our client's success. That's why I made the jump. And right now, I'm an unbiased fiduciary, and that is the role that I want to be in. And that's the role that I love.
Well, I think that's great because you're not just looking out for, hey, how can I make the most commission, but hey, what's
Right.
best for the individual? And you can look at the individual situation and assess that as you move forward. And, people that listen to the podcast kind of, there's a wide range of people, but I would say, we are in the, like the younger generation that does listen to the podcast. So what are some things, like our high school seniors, what are some things they can be doing right now to plan for their future, to help prepare them to have financial success, regardless of their zip code, regardless of where they started? What can they do right now to prepare for their future?
So it's actually pretty simple. And this is advice that I would give anyone that's from high school all the way up to married and have children, all the way up to getting ready or are actually retiring. Figure out what goals you want to accomplish. First and foremost, write those goals down, get them in the forefront of your mind. I like to use an example that if you go on a trip but don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there?
Hmm.
So writing these goals down will give you a clear picture of actually where you want to be.
Yeah.
The second thing is right now there's this huge trend on social media platforms where these investors, are making a ton of money or losing a ton of money at the same time. Do not follow the social media trends. This is just speculating. It's not investing. It has no long-term ability. It has, there's people that are just losing all their money. They're making a ton of money, and that's pretty much all you're seeing. So it seems very, lucrative. And you say, I want to be part of that. Trust me, don't. I've been there before earlier in my career. It doesn't work out. So
Yeah.
don't follow the trends. And the third thing is be disciplined. Follow a strict dollar cost averaging strategy. A dollar cost averaging strategy is where you put the same amount of money in every single month. And over time, that money will build up and that'll grow. When stock prices are high, you're going to buy fewer shares because they're more expensive. And when they're low, you're going to be able to buy more quality shares for cheaper. This is the
Right.
best strategy there is for a long-term investor. There's a great book that has shaped my investment philosophy that I recommend any serious investor take a look at. It's called Simple Wealth, Inevitable Wealth by Nick Murray. There's no magical solution to investing. There's no timing the market. All there is time in the market and being patient and having discipline.
Oh, that's good stuff, and that's everything you said. Obviously, apply to our financial life, but also and just apply to our day to day life. And I think that's something that we can all take from. In the word discipline is something our culture lacks so much, and so being able to discipline oneself. Coach Saban used to tell us this at Alabama after practice. He would say, you either suffer the pain of discipline now or you suffer the pain of disappointment later. And that has been so true in my life. If I did not discipline myself on a certain area of my life, I ended up probably being disappointed later on. But if I disciplined myself, I would not have to suffer that pain and disappointment. And so, so here, where our time's coming to an end here, and I want to go over this one last thing that we discussed earlier, is going into 2021. What are some things people can do financially to have a great year? Because I know 2020 has been a year of difficulty, to say the least. And so, in 2019, everyone was getting ready. 2020, the year of focus, the year of vision, is going to be an incredible year. And then about February, at the end of February, it just kind of went downhill. So what are some things we can do to prepare for 2021?
So some things you can do. like what I was just talking about, the first thing, make some goals, write them down. If you write your goals down, they actually become tangible at that point. They're not just in your head, you will see them. Put those goals somewhere where you will actually see them all the time. I do this with all aspects of my life, and it really helps to have that positive reinforcement, knowing that you're working towards something and you can actually see it. The second thing would be, if you don't have any investments yet, start an investment account. You can open E-Trade. I know people use Robinhood. Do any of these and put away some sort of money every single month. That is how you're going to be successful. Pick companies that you like, not the ones that are hot and that everyone's talking about on social media. Say if you use Apple, if you have an Apple iPhone and you use an Apple Watch, you're buying the product, so you might as well be an investor of the company.
Absolutely.
Pick companies that you like, that are not going to be going anywhere, that are not these speculative companies.
That's
And the
right.
third thing is stick to that strategy. The market's going to go up, it's going to go down. Do not let the market going down scare you out of your investments. That is the biggest thing. I have clients that I luckily talked some sense into most of my clients back in March when the market came crashing down. But I have a friend who's an advisor, and he had clients that he somehow let them get out of the market. Once you get out, you never know when to actually get back in. At
Right.
that point, you're trying to time the market, say, I'm going to get out at the top and buy in at the bottom. It doesn't work like that. It's not easy. Even for people like Warren Buffett that have followed the market for 70 years, he cannot time the market. Nobody can. So just stick to your strategy. The market's going to go down. Just know that, when you put your monthly amount in, you're just going to buy more shares of that company that you like
That's
for
right.
cheaper.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, Kent, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. And I'll tell you what, how can people get in touch with you if they'd like to reach out to you about some financial planning?
So I can send you my email address and my phone number.
We'll put it in the description of the video.
Yes, that would be great. I think that would probably be the easiest way.
Absolutely. Well, Kent, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. And man, again, thank you so much. And you guys, man, have a great day.
All right, roll tide, man.
Roll Tide.
See ya.